good, sir.
He's got a gavel up here, he can cut it off at any moment.
Thanks, David, a little problems up there.
Keep track of time.
Berkeley, I'm doing this for you.
Hey, did we carry over everything on D&D? Okay, I just, listen. I was like, this is my committee, I'm just gonna step outside for a second. I came back in, I'm late, I'm on the committee. Okay,
Made up for it.
just wanna make sure.
Two committees all carried.
Ms. Smith, you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. Special Issues Committee meeting, September 21st. Roll call, please. Mrs. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Gwaltney? Mr. Higginbotham?
Here.
Mr. McCluskey?
Here.
And Miss Andrus?
Here. All right, we have 4 members of the committee, so we're ready to go. Could I get a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approval of said minutes as presented?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Higginbotham, seconded by Mr. McCluskey. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, 4-0, and the minutes are approved. Okay, first issue is 17-10-15, request for consideration of noise and odor problems from Buffalo Rock and Mayfield Barbers. I sent members of the committee a map today that Mr. Thompson, Ron Thompson, our consultant, has put together, essentially locating on the map the area where the complaints have come from, and I think anybody who saw the map sees where the complaints came from. So I will send that to the full council. Jefferson County did start to, we were kind of surprised because Sharon Hansis texted me and told me that the county was out putting out sampling devices in several locations, but we had been told that they weren't going to do that until they had their full plan done, which Ron said that they told him was going to be another week before they did that. So we were a little surprised that they put those out. So Ron was trying to track that down, and in the meantime, he sent me that map. So he is busy working on it. They have gone through all of the material that we have sent them, which is a lot, and they are kind of coming up with a comprehensive approach that they want to take. But he has been in regular contact with David Denard, and they are working on a plan where we will do sampling at several locations over on Ridgemore, the main manhole where we've had so many issues, and several others in that general area, to see what kind of data we can get, because obviously things change over time. So, and I can't explain the science to you, but Ron says that we can do all kinds of things that kind of isolate different odors based on their content or their makeup. So that will be a big step in the right direction, I think, to get that sampling done. Yes, you're looking at me.
Yes, that is
concerned.
that is the county doing that work.
Yes, that is Jefferson County Sewer is doing that.
And it is again based on trying to detect some of these sources.
Well,
it's not any.
Well,
or is it mitigated? That's what is it a county problem, or we still don't know?
Basically, what they're trying to establish that. That's what the sampling will do. They're trying to establish if this is a sewer issue or if this is a outflow issue from our people.
The reason I say all that is the fact that they're doing that. It doesn't. I know it doesn't. I don't mean to indict them or anything, but it does. When we've had previous problems, and the county's always been very helpful in these problems, but when we've had previous problems, they've really have said, no, it's not us.
I think
here there's at least some question.
Well, I don't think it's a question as to whether the odor is coming from them. It's clearly not, because it's not sewer odor.
Okay,
I think the
that's
question,
what I'm, okay.
Yes, I think the question is, can we break down what that effluent is and what might be accounting for those odors? Because the effluent is all going into the storm system, because that's where it goes. And I think because there's been that isolated area right on Ridgemore at that junction where that manhole is, that's been a kind of a continuing problem. And then we found out in a meeting with them that the project that we thought was going to be starting this year is actually not starting until 2023. I think David Denard thought, well, let's just at least see what kind of data we can gather right now, so that they know for sure that when they do that project, if that is going to actually help in some way.
I was reading more into it than there was. so
Yes,
thank you.
I think you are.
Thank
But,
you.
but we are very thankful that they are doing the sampling, because I think it could actually give us some good information that might help us down the road. So I will send out that map that I sent to the committee. I'll send that to everybody so that y'all can take a look at that. It is interesting. Okay, and we'll carry that item over. So, I mean, it's been carried over since 2015, so we might as well just keep on going. Yeah, it is. We should. We should have a party in November.
It means a lot to Fred, so.
Yeah, that's true. We can bring Fred back for the party.
Okay. Can I say something?
Yes, you may, please.
Well, I mean, I really feel like we have hope here. I mean, we're on the right track. Thank you for what you're doing. I just want to tell you that, because I feel like we're finally getting to the source, and we were just kind of in the air, and now I think we're getting closer, and I appreciate that, and that's really the key, was the consultant, so.
Yes, it was, and Ron
Okay.
is a
And
good
yeah,
guy.
so
He's a
thank
good
you.
guy.
I just wanted to say that.
Okay, 170220, request to address trash pickup concerns and requirements for downtown business properties. Mr. Hansis and President Wright and Mr. Squire.
We're going to carry this over. We are working on something with regard to addressing trash pickup issues, but we're not there yet. So
Okay.
please keep it on the agenda.
Okay.
Hopefully in a few weeks. I don't know if it's going to be next meeting. Berkeley's helping me with it, and hopefully we'll have something soon enough.
Okay. Fair
For
enough.
everyone to consider. Thank you.
Okay, well, we will carry that one over. 030620, request for permission to place tables on a city sidewalk at 2801 18th Street South for the Maple Street Biscuit Company, excuse me. Chris Sears, Greg Cobb, and yes, there you are. I thought that was you. Yep. If you don't mind signing in over on the corner desk.
So I know the last proposal we made had a lot more tables and chairs than y'all were comfortable with. We have revised it down to 4. They're 42-inch round. We did mark it off with some blue tape just to kind of give y'all a visual of what it will look like. We did have to use our square tables, but it shows that there's quite a bit of room around where we want. And then the sidewalk is still completely open.
And I know there was some question as to whether the new ADA compliant ramp would be accessible.
Yes,
That's not
yeah,
gonna
there's
be
more
in
than,
any
there's
way.
5
Okay.
feet, so.
Because I know that was a question that, I can't remember, maybe it was Mr. Gwaltney.
Madam Chairman,
Sure.
I hang out more than I should over there.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. You know, it's, I think if it's done right, there's a way to do it. And it's just a question of making sure that the tables aren't in the way of both the main sidewalk. Now, our friends at the coffee shop up this way have some tables that seem to be in the way, but anyway, somehow they've gotten away with that. But, and you know, there's a lot that's been going on there, but the ramp is now on the far end. Yeah. Yeah, and so you can see right here, the ramp comes right, if that's the street, the ramp's coming right up on this side right there. So it's, the ramp touches the street in a sense. So if they can kind of tuck them in right there, I think it will work.
And you're saying it's going to be round tables and not?
It is, yes.
And they're not pushed up against the side of the restaurant because that's where the sidewalk is that where, that's where you're pulling them away from the restaurant?
walk-through.
Okay.
There's really an area between the ramp, there's a lamp post there that is in the way too, but if you put them right along where that line where the lamp post is, you've got, I think, room on both sides from what I walked out there and looked at the other day.
So a total of 4 42-inch round tables, 4 chairs at each one, I'm assuming? Yeah, okay. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have a
Comment.
question
Oh.
just about, I guess maybe for Mr. Kendrick. What is the precedent for, restaurants? What have we done? I mean, has every time, like you mentioned, a shop down the street, has every time that they've put tables out, they've come to the city for a request, or do they sometimes they just stick them out there?
The proper procedure is that they have to give permission to put tables out. I can't tell you that that's always been done.
Who's done it? But folks have, and we have given permission to have tables in the right of way.
I mean, that's kind of, you think about over in West Homewood, outside of Studio,
Yeah.
the tables there. Yeah, we put those out. And then also
Edgewood.
in Edgewood, we
Okay.
have the tables out there. I know a lot of cities are doing this right now just
Yeah.
because of the
We don't
restrictions.
own those tables, they're owned by Wayne Harris.
Yeah, yeah.
I was mistaken, I thought they were ours.
So yes, there are tables and other outside on other
Proper
public
process
places.
of those things is that you have to seek and obtain permission to put it within the city law.
Which is why she's here.
That's why I want to know what the precedent, what we've done in the past, and I know that folks have not come forward.
Some have been approved, some have not.
And should we consider indemnification for this?
Since they're tables, I'm not sure.
People,
Here's a scenario, that's a very high traffic area,
Right.
and cars essentially go over the curb to hit a table. So if you're going to permit that, then you probably need to consider indemnification so that we wouldn't be responsible.
Right, we would not be liable for that. That makes sense. Basically, the city is not going to take responsibility or liability if there were to be an accident and somebody were to be, that would be, if we sign an
Maple Street,
indemnification
yeah.
agreement, that would be y'all.
So we would
Okay.
create that document?
Yes, yes,
And then their
It'd simply
corporate,
be the right-of-way permit that we have now.
right, with an
Allow them to put
indemnification.
tables, But they'd have to remove them if we asked, or we directed, and they will indemnify us for any of those improvements that are there.
Yeah.
so we'll have something in writing for
Oh,
you.
yeah. That's with all right-of-way agreements, that's what you have to have an
The only thing
indemnification.
about that, we would add to that indemnification if they're injured
Yeah.
while in the right-of-way.
Right, okay. Okay.
So when would we be allowed to put tables out there?
Well, if this gets approved, it still has to be voted on in council.
Okay.
Next Monday night, on the 28th. So after that, sign the indemnification agreement if it's approved, and if it's approved in council, then you would be able to.
Okay.
So
The
if
next
it's all-
question-
If it all goes correct, if everything goes the way that you'd like it to, it would be about a week.
She's trying to beat the winter.
Yes, I get it. You're trying to take advantage of the pretty weather. Yes, this very small window of very gorgeous weather that we're having. Okay,
The
any other
cones-
questions? And if not, oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
The cones that are outside on the kind of curve, there hasn't been work done in over a month, but yet they're still out there.
That is the construction company that
That project has been delayed, and they've moved off the site. They're going to move back on to Tennessee.
Okay, can I move the cones? I mean, there's absolutely no purpose for them other than to make us look like we're closed at this point. I mean,
Yeah, I
which is
get
kind
that.
of where we're at with the.
Wyatt, do you know
Mr. Pugh,
who the construction company is and what they're,
Doing the city right-of-way work?
right.
Yeah, that's CB&A Construction. They'll be back in a couple of months. They'll
Well,
be
could
back
she,
after
could she move, in the
fundraiser.
interim time, could she move those cones out of the way? Because she said the cones are just sitting there making it look like her business is closed when
Yeah, they
it's
do.
clearly not.
Let me come take a look at that, because I don't want to go moving somebody's construction cones out of the way without,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm
will
not
you,
really-
will you
They
get
don't-
out with
I'm not comfortable
her?
with that
don't have any
right off the bat.
can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Have we accepted that work?
No, sir, we've not accepted that work in that area. That's a very good point. So, yeah,
Going to make us accept it if we use it.
you're exactly right. No, we can't move.
Oh, because we have not given them
We've not
authorization that
accepted
we
that
have,
work. We have to
okay.
give them an agreement.
what is it
to
they're
accept
waiting
that
on? I
work.
thought it was AT&T or something.
AT&T?
That's what I was told. There was an AT&T cable that had to be dealt with there.
I don't know anything about that.
What is it they have to do to complete it?
I'm not sure what the extent of their work is on that corner, but they've got quite a bit of sidewalk work left to do. all the way up and down the street there.
Well, I know, but we're just talking about her specific, right there
Is
next
there a
to
way
it.
to contact them and just
Oh, sure, sure.
ask them to,
Whatever you all would like for me to do, I can work out with them.
I think just ask them if they have more work to do and when's it going to be done. If not, can they move the orange cones?
Well, and also, but I think the point is, if we haven't accepted the work,
Right, right,
I'm not sure that we can allow them to use the space until that work is accepted
right.
by
That's
us.
what I'm wondering. I mean, when you talk about accepting work, we can't accept part of the work. We have to accept the
Well,
whole.
we can, but we have to define it in an agreement.
All right, could we have a discussion with them, just to see what our timeline looks like? And maybe tell them we're trying to figure out a way for these people to put tables out
Yes,
for
ma'am.
people to eat on, but we can't do that with,
I'll
what's
be
going
happy
on. Okay, just see what we can figure out.
Sure.
Okay, so it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, sounds like we really have to wait until we get an answer before we can do anything, because we can't allow y'all to put things on work that hasn't been accepted by the city, because if something did go wrong, then there would be an issue. So,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wish there was a more defined way to do this.
okay, so if you can call them and kind of get us an update on what our timeline is, and if there's any way to segment it out, I don't know. But if there's anything we can do,
Yes, we'll take a look at that.
thank you. All right, sorry. Thank you. All right, so we'll carry that one over until we can get an answer to some of those questions. All right, 030920, request permission to build a backyard fireplace and extend into city right-of-way on 323 Woodland Drive, Craig Smith, curb appeal. Mr. Pugh.
I met with Curb Appeal today. They've decided to redesign this to where it conforms, so
Nice.
request to drop this.
Okay, so,
It's a
all right,
second.
motion for Mr. McCluskey, second for Mr. Higginbotham. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, that is dropped. Okay. 040920, request for consideration to, 1, work in the right-of-way to install a new canopy and outdoor dining area, 2, to paint a mural on the side facade of the building facing Raleigh Avenue, which we decided is a whole different, we've got
Yes.
these 3 items lumped together, but there's one the painting is a different thing. And to request the consign variance, to consider a sign variance at 709 Oak Grove Road, Ash Restaurant. So some of these.
After I put this on here, I realized that it may need to be broken up, so I apologize but however we need to do this.
I don't think the mural is prohibited under the sign ordinance as it presently is.
No, I think you're right. That was my understanding. So is there another sign variance that's being requested in addition to a mural being
As I
painted?
understand the request.
I have a handout, that would help.
Yes, that would help
And
greatly.
there are also some, Brian has some monitor.
Pictures,
There we
okay.
go, some stuff on the monitor so you can see.
Oh, my.
I didn't get one. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Nobody can hear me without a mask, so having one's worse. What would you like to know first?
Well,
'Cause I was
if you could
bringing
tell us
my
who
kid
you
to
are.
college when all this happened. so-
Okay, so tell us who you are, and I'm assuming this has a lot to do with the work that I've seen going on that whole building
It
in the last
does.
little while.
It
Yes.
does. I'm Richard Carnaggio. I'm an architect that worked on the building. Rodney Cook, I believe, brought this in and set all of this up. Derek Walczyk with Shannon Walczyk has bought the shopping center and is really trying to invest some money to improve it, take care of waterproofing envelope issues, as well as really create a new presence for Ash, which is the premier tenant. Going along with that, Derek has these ideas of really trying to make this popular in the neighborhood, and he was trying to make a selfie wall, which is the reason for this big graphic on the side. That's why you see the children taking their pictures. It was all part of the marketing portion. But it was really trying to also be very, very cost-effective. And an artist we talked with said, we can do a series of sponges, do these colorful colors, make it playful for the neighborhood. And the blues, as it turns the corner, sort of drops away, then it's a black building for ash. And then it picks up the blues again on the other side for just a really cool, sort of a vibrant gradation into the building.
I'm sorry, could you lean closer to the microphone? I'm having a difficult time over here hearing you. I'm sorry, I'm trying, but I'm.
So you're telling me the front
Sorry.
face of the building, where ash, that's going to be black?
Yes, and,
The side of the building are black.
right, I have the renderings on the next piece. The majority of the building is black, and you can see on this side, there's 12 shades of blue that disappear into this. So it's almost like a blue flame meeting the warmth of the ash restaurant that's here, which is the dark oranges and the rust and the black. And so taking these colors, we're working with an artist to do sort of like this, this big graphic wall, the positive image for the neighborhood.
And how long the process are we talking about? Well, and so there's 3 items on here. All of them. But there's one to install a new canopy, and I'm not sure what that's.
Okay, well, if you look at the first page, the dark gray shape is the actual building. When you look at the light gray outline that's dotted in, that is the existing canopy that's in place that they have since removed.
Okay, so we're saying awning.
Awning, yes.
Okay, when you said canopy, I thought you were talking about putting one of those shade canopies, like over the tables and things that are, we're just talking about the awnings on the.
Yes, those awnings that have since been removed after talking with the contractor today. So the blue are the new awnings and canopies that we're proposing. And so I did an area calculation, and right now the gray encroachment into the right-of-way is 360 square feet, and so our encroachment is less, and it's 247 square feet. All of the proposed canopies in the rendering.
Point out, just so
Absolutely.
y'all understand why this was on the agenda, is because the canopy, both the existing canopy and the new, is in the right-of-way. So for them to simply take down the canopy and replace it with a new one,
Richard, which lines are right away? The dot, dash line?
the dash line.
This big dash dot line that's curving around the building is the property line / demarcation of the right-of-way. So everything you see outside of that, you can see a little bit of the gray here, a piece of it there in this corner. That totals 360 square feet. This sliver of blue and, well, that sliver of blue is the remainder.
All right, so that addresses number 1. So
Yes.
y'all just want to install awnings that will very slightly go in the right way.
Yes.
In the outdoor dining.
In the outlet, yes.
Right, and we're also building a level platform because the sidewalk slopes, and it's out of wood, so it'll be easily removable in case something ever happens.
All right, and then the second item is to paint the mural, which Mr. Kendrick said is not anything that we need to do action on, which will not prohibit
I don't believe it's prohibited.
by our sign.
I didn't see anything going through the Westward ordinances, and also with the sign, I didn't see anything that was really applicable to this sign. So the graphics that you see here, this blue shows the area, so we're under the square footage. The heights were a little bit different, but I based that upon the painted stripe on the building. There was nothing in the ordinance that even was close to what we're proposing.
So explain this sign to me. It's a,
This is going to be mounted, we're proposed to be mounted on the top of the building.
okay,
It's going to be cut out of aluminum letters, so it'll be permanent.
okay.
Painted. I'd need to work with the owners. And then the larger, the ash sign, is also three-dimensional letters with a little taper on it. The back is painted black. The outside will be a natural aluminum. And then that flame that you see inside of their logo is just a perforated aluminum.
Okay.
And so the idea is it would have a gentle uplight, so it glows at night. It's not going to be illuminated,
Okay,
but
that
it
was
will
my
be
next question.
uplit. And that is what this rendering was trying to illustrate, that we could have sort of like a light, red or a white light that's
Sure.
picking up sort of the fire.
Okay, and Mr. Pugh, what is the total square footage of what they're asking for with the
I
sign?
believe you've got it marked out here on
Right, the little blue area that you see here, that whole area is 31 square feet, including the void space, and you're allowed based upon the building sign in the Westwood ordinance, was 140 square feet, so I'm 100 square feet less than what would be allowed.
Okay, and so is this more?
But it's a little bit taller.
Okay, it's a little taller. Okay.
It's 11 inches taller than what is allowed on
Okay.
that painted stripe.
Okay, and also, I'm thinking, no, wait, when we change the sign ordinance, there's not a number. They can have all these signs. There's not a number variance required here.
There's some reason that somebody in White's office put
Yeah.
this on here. I don't know what it
Is
is.
it? I don't think it's a number, I don't think it's a number variance. I don't think it's a number variance, because I think they can have this number of signs. I think they're,
I think it may be the fact that it sticks up above the roof line.
okay.
Above the roof line.
Above the
Okay,
roof line.
okay, all right. Okay, so that's the variance. The variance is
That's the
actually,
variance. Yeah, I
okay.
don't think it was a size or number.
Okay, okay,
And the reason is, as soon as you put this on the canopy, the cost of the canopy skyrocketed because
Yeah.
of the weight and engineering that's involved.
Right.
So it's there and tall, so you can see it over the height.
I gotcha.
which
Okay.
You can see from the rendering.
fair enough. So, really nice rendering.
That's what this one was trying to illustrate.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any questions for Mr. Carnegie? Oh, you're right, yes, it is a public, we will have to do a public hearing, because it's a sign variance.
Okay.
That means in 2 weeks. No,
think
next,
it's set Monday night.
we'll set it Monday night, that's right, we won't know when it
I
is.
think it has been said.
Okay, oh, it's already been set, okay, so then on the 28th, we'll have a public hearing to address the sign ordinance, so that's how that'll go. Mr. Higginbotham, I think you had a question?
I did not, Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Jones. Well, actually, I do have a question.
Okay.
But Mr. Jones was asking me something.
Okay.
That's what I was just gesturing in response. It may just be a artistic license as part of the rendering, but are we saying that the public area at the corner is going to be removed? Is that what this is showing?
No, there's going to be no change.
Okay, it just does not show in this rendering, so. But it may just be an artistic license, like I said, okay. That
I was in a hurry.
Councilor Higginbotham, are you talking about which?
Where the tables are now. is
Where
what
the
he's
tables
asking about.
currently are on the
corner,
corner.
yeah, I mean, this illustration suggests to me that they're
But
gone,
those are the ones that.
Right,
that the
there's no
city-
change.
Okay,
That's just me
Those are
being
city-owned tables
efficient
anyway.
with getting a rendering finished.
okay, 'cause those are ours, so, yeah, okay.
So we're going to move them to the donut shop.
Madam Chairman, I have a question.
Okay, Mr. McCluskey?
So I've heard it been referred to as the Westwood ordinance a couple times. And I see Westwood down here at the bottom in regards to, I'm guessing that's what the name of the building is?
That is what the owner is calling the building.
Okay. So here is my question.
Yes.
If that is the mural and it is referring to something, does it not become a sign?
Oh, I don't,
Because it says Westwood on the mural.
Oh, I thought it said Homewood. See, that
No.
shows you my bad. Oh, yeah. No, y'all probably would not be able to do that unless you ask for an additional variance, because a mural is fine, but if you turn your mural into a sign for your business,
But it's
i.e.
not
the building.
referencing a specific business.
Well, but he just said that the name of the building is Westwood.
Well, but the neighborhood is not called Westwood.
It's West
It's
Homewood.
called West Homewood. That was my only question. I just want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be clear.
Just in ignorance defense, I don't know if they're calling the building Westwood or not. That's just what he's been calling it. So
Okay.
it could very well be that, and I can let him know and we can change it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would-
Well,
I would-
just- I would like that clarification
Yes.
before we.
Have this public hearing. Yes.
Correct.
I would
But-
definitely say
but
clear that
let's-
up before.
Because
Let's
there's-
make it work, because it looks awesome. So
'Cause
he's
there's-
just saying, don't call it whatever the name of if you're calling the building by a name, that can't be what's on the mural. But it looks awesome, though,
I don't know,
so.
but if it was Homewood, would that be?
Yes.
Yes, that would be
correct. It
fine, yes,
That's
yeah.
right.
We're just saying, because if you make the mural the name of what the building is, then you've turned that mural into a sign.
Well, and listen, you've already got West and Wood on there. Just add the home somewhere.
No, I mean, it's
And you've got the
it's an
name of the
easy
neighborhood.
fix. I just don't think
Yeah.
he's branding his building that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. so
Just
they
like the chevron in Edgewood, this is Welcome to Edgewood, perfectly fine. So like he said, you just add home in there and you're good.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yes,
And
yes,
the city
we're-
would love
yes.
that. Yeah.
I would just discuss that with with them and make sure that they're cool with that. Because otherwise, that'll be a different scenario other than just having a mural. A mural is fine. It just can't be an additional sign for a business. Okay.
Do you have an artist for all of the
We're
muraling?
talking to two, but Fritz is who we're probably going to use, I forget his whole name.
And you don't have to,
Sean.
yeah, Sean Fitzwater, yeah. You don't have to tell us that. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? And if not, could I get a motion to send this out without recommendation pending the public hearing next Monday?
Well, what about, do we need a motion for them to work in the right-of-way?
Oh, yeah, we do. I guess we need two separate motions. All right, well, we want to do the sign first. So we'll take the sign the sign variance issue first.
Mr. McCluskey, I'll second. Mr.
How are we going to
McCluskey.
do this since it all has one item number? Does that make a difference?
It's going to have a separate resolution.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion to move the sign variance request out to full council without a recommendation pending the public hearing Monday night. That motion by Mr. McCluskey.
I'll second that.
Second from Ms. Andrus. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's 4 of us, so that is good.
And then I'll move to approve work in the right-of-way.
Okay, with the proper indemnification
Correct.
agreements.
Yes.
All right.
I will second.
Okay, motion for Ms. Andrus, second for Mr. McCluskey. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0, and that is approved, so that's good. And you will need to sign the indemnification agreements, and that will be voted on in council Monday night as well.
But I need to know who's the owner of the building.
It's Derek Walchuk.
Individual?
Well, it's Shannon Walchuk, I'm not sure.
Are we carrying over the mural piece?
Whoever owns it has to sign the identification.
I think, well, no, because,
Just let me know. Or let White know, he'll let me know. I just need to know before Monday night.
So then we need to carry it over here, right?
Yeah, so the question is it carrying it over here, or is it going to be part of that sign variance if they keep it the same?
okay, that's a good point. Because the mural, we haven't gotten an answer to that question yet. Typically, that wouldn't need to go to council at all because it's not, there's no variance needed for that. But until we get the answer,
There's a variance hearing set for the sign, so if it is considered to be a sign.
we can include it in that. Okay, all right. So if you could just make sure and get that answer for us by next Monday night when we have the public hearing so we can address it
So I
then.
need to be here next Monday.
Yes, at 6 o'clock in the same room. Yes, sir. Yes, or whatever floats y'all's boat. It doesn't even have to say West Homewood. Y'all can put whatever you want to on it, as long as it doesn't say the name of a business on it. We're all good. All right. Well, no, that's true. Although I'm not sure that's. All right, with that, we are adjourned.